Happy Friday, everybody. It is the 21st of February, 2020, and this is the CoT Report, the Friday Roundup edition from Paramay Trades. So what we do, or what we're looking to do every Friday, is just grab the report. Bar chart releases, unless there's a holiday, usually about 3 o'clock on Friday. So we pull down the report, pull down the legacy report, and we incorporate it into the report that we've got generated here to take a look at all of our commodities, all the ones we're looking at, all the ones we're watching. Personally, I use the Thinkorswim platform. So if you use a different platform, you've probably got a Commitment of Traders report built in. I think TradeStation does. I mean, the brainchild of the Commitment of Traders report index is Larry Williams, and I'm pretty sure he's got those indicators on TradeStation. But if you're a TOS user, you don't. They don't connect to bar charts, Commitment of Traders report at presently. We do have an indicator built from this report, this legacy report, and the TOS. It's nothing beautiful, but it works. So all these numbers are represented nicely on a graph for myself so that we can look at these. But I like to look at the report first. Everything's right in front of you. There's a nice summary going. The 3-year index, the 6-month index. And what we're doing right now is focusing in on the 5 weeks prior of the 6-month index to see where there is some sentiment change from commercial interest. Now we're watching the commitment traders because we think that these guys are a pretty good reason why market sentiment moves in the direction that it does. We think that they have something to do with it. So we're paying attention to them. So I haven't shuffled the deck yet with the 5 week prior on the index. But if we look here, and it was just the reason why I had this highlighted, is because for whichever reason, commercial interest set new lows on the 6-month index and the 5-month index. And I thought I was going crazy because if you've all been paying attention to the charts today, if you've all been paying attention to the charts today, and this week, and last week, and the week before that, and the 7 weeks before that we said, why is gold rallying on Wednesdays? Why is Wednesday a good day to buy gold? I don't know. But this is looking a little bit stickier in terms of commitment to traders. Because when I saw these zero, I said, this can't be right. They set a new low? They set a new low in the 6-month and in the 3-year index? No, that can't be right. That can't be right because they have an extremely negative outlook right now. So we gotta look at this. We're gonna look at gold in just a second, but let's see if we can find something else on this chart that looks pretty appealing that did last week. This is a little bit interesting still. Is the Australian dollar. We thought that looked pretty good. They're trying to turn a corner here. We thought that the currencies looked a little bit better. Oops. That was one of our flags. CL again still was one of our flags. I think they might have toned it down a notch here, but not by much. I mean, they're still buying here. And no, I don't have this nifty little graph on all of the tabs because it was causing Excel to crash, so I stopped doing it. Well, we're gonna look at it on the chart here. If you've got TOS, we've got that indicator loaded up there, so we'll take a look at it. Moving along here, looks like RTY, nothing special, still bearish, but not nearly as bad as the S&P did over the course of the last 2 days. British pound still feeling a little bit negative on the bias here for commitment to traders. and it's, I mean, it's, oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, they've got an even more negative outlook than they had before. Well, look at that chart. We did a study for the British pound, so I'm looking for a pattern target here, and I'm not coming off it yet. I mean, these guys aren't. I'm sticking with that pattern. Soybean oil, I don't know if this moved up or not, but there's definitely some sentiment change going on here in ZL. I haven't looked at this in a while. Yeah, this is moving up. Soybean, quite a bit of the soybeans are actually. ZM's moving up. They set a new high. I was a little bit frustrated with the ZM trade this week because on Friday it pumped, and then, my God, it dumped. And bulls did not recover from it. So the bears struck, and the bulls just could not keep it together, I don't think. So they're awful bullish on it, and maybe that's coming into play. Maybe there's a bigger move coming, but soybean meal was frustrating to be in for a 7-day trade, and to find out that, I should have took profits because it was going to tuck tail and go the other way. So that's a little frustrating there. And this is looking good, right? Feeder cattle, we talked about that. Absolutely. Last week, this was on the radar last week too, and they're really bullish on it. And I think feeder cattle moved. I think it got some movement here. So we're not in feeder cattle. It hasn't gone to the moon yet. You want to think about getting involved. Platinum, I do not play platinum. They're always bearish, and the damn thing pumps and dumps all the time. I have no idea. This is something we're going to have to come back and look at, but they've been holding negative outlook for the last, well, since the freaking end of December, so 2 months. Take a look at that chart too at some point. High grade copper, yep. I mean, we were looking into high grade. We thought there might have been something there. Yeah, let's say they're moving up a little bit. It might have came off a little from last week, but on their 3-year index, they're looking really good. New lows for silver and new lows for wheat. Is wheat getting crushed right now? Because they look like they're getting crushed right now. We're going to have to take a look at that one too. Yeah, definitely going to have to take a look at that one. What is this live feed? Live cattle? They're starting to pick up the buying quite handsomely too. 5-week difference of about, I don't know, 50 something, 55%, 57%. That looks pretty darn good. Yeah. I mean, 60% from middle of December. If live cattle's not moving yet, I'm gonna tell you. Wheat, take a look at right. ZM. This is why this is frustrating. ZM moved right up. Commercials are buying. We'll see what's gonna go. We'll see what's gonna happen in the next week. We're gonna have to find a nice safe entry, and that entry might already be in because the bears killed it. The bears absolutely destroyed it at the end of the session. So we'll take a look. Euro dollar is looking pretty good. That looks like it's getting substantially bullish. What we got, 60? I'm 60 here. Yeah, I mean they're riding. They're riding. That's a handsome increase. That is extreme sentiment change in a 5-week period. You better take a look at the euro dollar. We're on opposite ends here. What came down? Looks like oats and 2-year notes came down. They were riding high and came down. Yeah, they were riding high for a while, but they're not as optimistic. They're middle range. I don't know. We'll have to take a look at that. I don't know if I'll get involved in the oats or 2-year contracts for that matter. I mean, You can. With gold firing up. See, I just don't get it, because S&P took a dip today, right? So there's supposed to be some kind of a inverse correlation here with stocks and notes. That part I don't know. Don't quote me on that, because I have no idea. Technical analyst, fundamentals are not my strong suit. So, but they're moving down. They're not as optimistic, and we had one strange week where they were not feeling too froggy, and then kind of pulled out. So middle ground here. Don't know. Not an extreme. I'm not going to bother. At least for the moment. Euro dollar is not looking too hot. At least sentiment changed quite a bit. So Jesus. Good God. I think they've probably been killing this for a while. I think I looked at this chart. I don't think it looked healthy. I think it looked bearish. So, if it is, no big surprise there. Natural gas, still holding here at their on their positive outlook, but they have been holding for a while. And I think natural gas actually just broke the downtrend ETR range, so they're finally going to turn a corner here. Maybe take a safe entry, and hopefully these boys push it up to 2.5, 2.2, anything would be good. Natural gas is, I think, bottom at like 1.7. I'm coming down on the notes a little bit here, getting a little holding a negative bias, and we're middle of ground for the Nasdaq. What's the change? Ooh, yeah, it came down a bit. It came down a little bit. But as I pointed out in the Nasdaq before, it's hard to see where their consistency is sometimes. I mean, this was a nice consistent hike up, but down extreme, up, down a little, up extreme. They come back down, come back up, come back down. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of uncertainty, it feels like, with commitment of traders on the Nasdaq. ZS was one that I was still playing. And we're just going to have to look at the chart, because it looks like they want to take it off. But we get another week like this, where another down week, and ZS is done. Or does it still move up? I don't know. All right, let's take a look at gold, because this is just really, 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 really interesting. And I'm gonna have to pause the video, because we're gonna have to update our TOS indicator. So I'm gonna pause right here, and I'll be right back so we can get the indicator updated, and so we can look at this data real time in a chart. And we're back here. All right, good. So yeah, whew. Didn't take long. It only takes about a minute to update the indicator. I'm not sweating here, but this is really interesting. Really interesting right here. Committed traders putting in new lows. Why are they putting in new lows right now? What's up? What is up? So this week they're putting in new lows? They're not buying? Who's pushing, who or what is pushing the market? And were they caught off guard? Because right now we are at 0% on both indexes. This is a very bearish sign. They were bearish. They were, holding a negative outlook on the 3-year index. But now their 6-month index is. Did they not anticipate this, or is somebody getting a really nice short fill? Maybe they got it wrong. I mean, were they wrong down here when they had, when they were selling down here? I don't know. They were loading up down here, right? They were loading up down here in this range, this low range. So as we moved up, I mean, they were, they were getting aggressive back here. And then this week they were selling. Because there was plenty of buyers, that's for sure. There's plenty of buyers this week too. Commercial interest. Very interesting here. Very, 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 very interesting. WPR obviously ripped over the last couple of days. It's a good time to be a buyer on Wednesdays, apparently. So, open interest is really high right now, and comms are bearish. That's a recipe for disaster right here. And our market sentiment is on the rise here. When did they cut bait on where market sentiment was last time? Well, we got a little bit of topping action before I actually saw any kind of retrace. L-bait, it was, small as it was. I mean, I wouldn't call it small. You gotta put these things in perspective sometime. We're looking at about 100 off the top. Easily. Did they get this one wrong, or are we in store for a gold retrace? And will their altitude and their attitude change next week? Noticing this pump, I mean, most people blame it on or attribute it to the coronavirus in China, and plus, was a nice, was it tax or interest rate cut? I think China to some extent here. We'll pull the article up on bar charts for you. Another bullshit article, right? We told you, we said it was whatever was going on yesterday wasn't going to get any better on Friday. Whatever was happening on Thursday wasn't going to get any better. It closed up hard. I don't know. Safe haven? Safe haven or not? Who knows? Stock market sells off today, and gold rallies. But I mean, gold has been rallying. But who are they kidding? And they're just kind of like that Thursday kind of shove. Thursday, Friday shove. I want to know if these guys are on the wrong side of the trade here, because they typically aren't. Especially with gold. They're usually pretty, spot on. But are they content with this being the high? I don't know. We're gonna have to watch next week if these guys decide that this wasn't a good idea. But they don't buy tops. They don't buy tops. You see here. They get less optimistic as we get towards tops. So I mean, they did their buying back here. You do your buying back here. Yeah, you're looking to close. You're not looking to buy anymore. You're looking to close it out, right? I mean, maybe you are, but I think they may settle with. They may settle with that. Close the contracts out. They're not looking optimistic up here, not at all. They don't have a positive outlook on this, so. I think they continue their bearishness next week. I think when we see the report next week, we get a little bit of hike. We get a little hike up here. But now we've got both indexes on the right side of the marker here. at 0%, well under 20. At 0, set new lows. They are not very optimistic up here at all. They weren't optimistic up here in this range, but it pushed anyway. Where did we see that once before? Huh. They were getting a little less optimistic on the 3-year index back here, and we cut down a little bit. So then we can see, we can see the responsiveness of the buying here with commercial index, and they start buying this week, and we get a little pump. And they start selling off, and we get a little bit of a dump here, a little bit of retrace and price action, and then they start getting really aggressive up in here, and price moves up. There's your market sentiment. They sell a little bit. They're holding pretty steady. And did they get a jump on the market? Did they get a jump on the market? Because they started buying this week considerably more, 22% up to 50%. So I mean, they're buying increased a little bit here. And we moved, but they're not up. They weren't optimistic on Tuesday coming into the week, and we pumped up. So maybe they're content with loading up their short contracts right here, and we're going to come down. Maybe they think the high's in, but this is the first time we've seen both indexes underneath, setting new lows under 20%. Very negative outlook. They've been pretty negative on the 3-year anyway, but let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Let's go. Let's get back to this report and wrap this up. This is taking way too long. Hopefully we've got some you've got some pretty good picks here for the week. Go over, take a look at wheat too. Is wheat getting crushed? Comms think so. See if we can get this wheat chart up here. Not the one we're looking for. We'd like to see this guy here, right? Yeah. Let's break this out. Let's just do a quick study real quick of wheat. ATR broke some time ago. We broke through, we pulled back up into demand. We pulled back up into supply. So what we'd like to see, the 1, 2, 3 punch, coming down here. Commercial interest broke bearish back here, right about where the top was. And they have been really negative on this. So, want to see lower levels on wheat? I think so. We were oversold up in here, right up against that ATR range. Declining interest. Market sentiment's really high. I think, time for wheat to come back down. It looks like it will. I mean, with this sentiment change here, I think so. And they've been pretty spot on with, when they break extreme bullishness, we do see a hike here. So they are less optimistic now. They are considerably less optimistic now coming into this week. Looks like they set a new low. We're down near -25, so we've got to adjust that number. But a 0 means that's the most net short that they've been in 3 years. Just below 20. So not on the 3-year index, but on the 6-month index. The most net short that they've been in the last 6 months. Pay attention to wheat. Might not be too late to get a short entry here. All right, so we looked at gold and we looked at wheat. We're not going to go through all of them. We'll do independent studies of the rest of them. But here's the Friday roundup. Here's where you got to pay attention. Sentiment change on the Australian dollar. It's a little bit of a change going on here. Is sentiment changing? British pound, sentiment not really changing. Tremendous sentiment change on the euro dollar. Great change on copper. Copper looks good. Feeder cattle looks good. Live cattle looks good. Canadian dollar, check that out. Check out wheat for the short. Continued short position. Gold, I don't know what the hell is going on, but it doesn't look good. This move does not look good. Is it sustainable? I don't know. Hell, I don't know. I would have been following these guys. You know? Now I would be saying they're setting new lows. And they're both the 3 and the 6 year index. Are we getting to a top here? Let's look at GC. Does it rally this time of year, or does it usually? Yeah. Up until about this point, and then we retrace a little bit here. Yeah, it's gonna do that. I hate it when it does that. You can't get what you want all the time. Every time. Gotta play by the rules. Ooh, what a mess. I mean, I can't even tell what the hell is going on here. I think we did a study on gold. It's probably sitting in the seasonal study. This looks like about the time of the year where it likes to retrace a little bit here. If this average has anything to say about it. Does it rally this time of year? Looks like it. Does it decline towards the end of February? Looks like it. We build a strong case and say, yeah, I think gold is probably going to retrace a little bit here. Even just a little. Even just a little. Is this what commercial interest is looking at? Well, we usually kind of decline a little bit here this time of the season. This one's got an early start, right? Tell you what, my money is not on going up. I don't care what the fucking news says. You got a seasonal study here that doesn't exactly favor rally this time of the season, this time of the year. I mean, what do you think? Are we pissing on the wind here? We're whistling Dixie. Whistling Dixie. Oh God, where did that even come from? I think it's the same thing as pissing in the wind. I don't know though. Into the wind. Yeah, where are we now? Gonna finish it off. Gonna get right up there. And then fucking kill it. Yeah, maybe. Looks like it. And can we provide a case study here in the last 8 years that said, well, maybe it won't? Not really. Really feels like the overwhelming odds are kind of in our favor here, at least for this time of year, into April, before, we get some kind of response. I mean, the average, there's the average. There it is. Right here. Clear as day. If I didn't cover it up with a bunch of friggin' markers, there it is. So, I mean, we're here now. Strong case for a rally. This time of year, not so much this time of the year. Time will tell. Time will tell, but if Com's got anything to say about it, they're getting bearish already. They're already holding a negative outlook. They're not buying. They're selling. So speculators want to move the market up, and the market wants to move up. Comms want to move it down. Who's going to win? Who's going to be on the right side of the trade? All right, this has gone on long enough here. This is a Friday roundup. Let's get on to bigger and better things, a little bit more directed, maybe a little bit more focused. We'll take a look at the S&P this week, last 2 weeks. So we do single study, open, high, low, close for the week to see where we could have made entries, to see where we could have took profits, see if it makes any sense whatsoever, see if our studies are just a bunch of bullshit, or maybe there's something to this trading and swing pivots that we can study and take a look at on a single week to find entry into these short-term trends or these weekly trends. All right, thanks for listening. This is Paramay Trades, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for tuning in. Discord is probably located in the description here somewhere. And yeah, stop in. Plenty of resources, charts, conversation, a little bit of banter, a little bit of horse shit. It's all in there. Anyways, thanks for stopping in. May you find yourself on the right side of the trade.